For centuries, the world was mapped without satellites, GPS, or modern instruments. Yet some ancient maps showed lands that do not exist today. Entire islands appeared in the middle of empty oceans, and some charts even showed large continents where there is now only water. These lands were not drawn as guesses or decorations. Cartographers gave them names, coastlines, and careful detail. Many mapmakers clearly believed these places were real. But over time, something strange began to happen. Later maps quietly removed them. There were no dramatic corrections and no official explanations. The lands simply disappeared from future charts, as if they had been erased from history. This raises a fascinating question. Were these only mistakes made by early mapmakers? Or were ancient cartographers recording something they believed they had truly seen? And if so, what happened to those places? To understand the mystery, we need to understand how early maps were created. Most cartographers never explored distant oceans themselves. Instead, they relied on stories from sailors, merchants, and explorers, and every report became a possible piece of the world. If several sailors described the same land, it was often added to a chart. Accuracy was difficult to verify, especially across great distances. Once a location appeared on a respected map, other cartographers copied it. Over time, repetition gave these places credibility. What may have started as a rumor slowly became accepted as fact. Generations of maps repeated the same island. Each copy made it seem more real, and eventually, legend and geography became difficult to separate. Historians now call many of these places phantom lands. One of the most famous was High Brazil. It appeared west of Ireland on European maps for more than 5 centuries, and sailors claimed they had seen it through ocean mist. According to some stories, the island was visible only once every 7 years. Others believed it was hidden by clouds or strange atmospheric conditions. Some legends described it as home to an advanced and isolated society, yet no expedition ever found it. Despite repeated failures, cartographers continued to draw High Brazil. The island appeared on maps from the 1300s to the 1800s. Only in the modern era was it finally removed. And by then, it had existed on paper longer than many real countries. Another mysterious land was Antillia. It appeared on maps decades before Columbus crossed the Atlantic. Some stories claimed it was settled by refugees, escaping a lost civilization, while others believed it was one of several hidden islands in the ocean. Antillia was drawn as a large and detailed landmass. It appeared so often that many explorers expected to find it, but like High Brazil, it was never confirmed, and eventually it too disappeared from maps. Even in modern times, phantom lands have appeared. One example is Sandy Island in the Pacific Ocean. It remained on maps for more than 100 years, and ships avoided the area because it was believed to be land. In 2012, a scientific expedition traveled to its exact location. Researchers expected to find a small island or reef. Instead, they found nothing but open water. The island had never existed at all. So why did these places appear in the first place? One major reason was navigation error. Before accurate timekeeping, sailors could not measure longitude precisely, and a small mistake could place land hundreds of kilometers from its true location. Nature may also have played a role. Atmospheric mirages can make distant clouds, or ice, look like solid ground. Large floating masses of vegetation, or volcanic rock, may have been mistaken for islands, and once reported, these sightings became part of the map. Another powerful force was simple copying. Early cartographers often relied on earlier maps as references. If a respected chart showed an island, it was rarely questioned. One mistake could survive for centuries. Yet not every mystery can be explained so easily. Some ancient maps show surprising accuracy for their time. One of the most discussed examples is the Piri Reis map from 1513, created by an Ottoman admiral and navigator. The map shows parts of Europe, Africa, and South America, with remarkable detail. What makes it especially interesting is the creator's own note. Piri Reis wrote that his work was based on much older source maps, suggesting earlier geographic knowledge had been preserved. Some researchers believe these older charts may have come from lost or forgotten traditions. Others argue the accuracy comes from combining multiple explorer reports. Most historians support this explanation, yet the map still raises important questions. How much ancient knowledge has been lost over time? How many earlier records have disappeared through war, disaster, or decay? Human history is full of missing information, and sometimes maps are the only surviving clues. Science adds another layer to the mystery. At the end of the last ice age, sea levels were far lower than they are today. Massive amounts of water were trapped in glaciers across the planet, and when the ice melted, oceans rose dramatically. Over thousands of years, coastlines moved inland. Vast areas of land were flooded and permanently submerged. Regions where people once lived disappeared beneath the sea, and entire landscapes were erased from the surface of the earth. Modern researchers have discovered submerged forests and ancient river systems underwater. Archaeologists have even found evidence of human settlements beneath the ocean. These discoveries prove something important. Lost lands are not just myths, they are geological reality. One of the most famous examples is Doggerland. This land once connected Britain to mainland Europe. Thousands of people lived there before rising seas covered it, and today it lies completely underwater. Similar flooded regions exist around the world. Ancient coastlines in Southeast Asia are now part of the ocean floor. Areas near the Mediterranean and the Black Sea have also changed dramatically, and human history may still be hidden beneath these waters. This brings us to one of the most famous lost lands of all. The legend of Atlantis comes from the Greek philosopher Plato. He described a powerful island civilization, destroyed in a single day and night, sinking beneath the sea. History is rarely a clear line between fact and fiction. Early cartographers worked with limited information. They recorded what they believed to be true, creating a world shaped by both knowledge and imagination. There is no direct evidence linking Atlantis to phantom islands or ancient maps. Still, the idea that myths preserve memories of real disasters continues to be widely discussed. Ancient cultures often pass down history through stories, and over time, those stories became legend. Today, the oceans still hold many secrets. More than 80% of the ocean floor remains unexplored. New underwater discoveries are made every year, and each one changes our understanding of the past. When old maps show lands that later vanished, the explanation is not always simple. Some were mistakes or illusions. Others were copied errors, repeated for generations. But a few may reflect a world that once looked very different. History is rarely a clear line between fact and fiction. Early cartographers worked with limited information. They recorded what they believed to be true, creating a world shaped by both knowledge and imagination. So the next time you see a mysterious island on an ancient map, consider the possibilities. It might be a simple mistake, it might be a legend, or it might be a memory of a land that no longer exists. Because somewhere beneath the oceans, forgotten landscapes may still remain. Hidden coastlines, ancient settlements, and lost worlds are waiting to be discovered. The maps of the past may not be entirely wrong. They may simply be incomplete. And until the depths of the oceans are fully explored, one question will remain. How much of human history has already been lost to the sea? The answer may still be waiting. In silence, far below the waves,